Good evening and welcome to tonight's webinar. My name is Pete Stolzers. I'm the founder of OneOption, and for recording purposes, I'd like to state that it is Wednesday evening, March 18th. We just had the FOMC statement this afternoon, and the market responded with a big rally. We'll talk a little bit more about the market later in tonight's presentation. Right now, I'm going to focus on my new website. This is something that I've been working on for, probably about 6 months. It was a vision that I had a long time ago. I didn't realize that the coding for it would be so complicated. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to allow investors and traders to come in and sign up for trade signals on stocks that they follow. So it would be completely a la carte. If you want 2 symbols, sign up for 2 symbols. Have one standard price for each symbol, and then allow the user the ability to change that symbol because stocks are sometimes trending and then all of a sudden they go flat. So I want to make sure that you have the latitude to change symbols. And with our old structure, we had defined symbol groups where maybe you had 6, 7 symbols per group, and there was always action within those 7 symbols. So you'd always have at least a few trades on, but I like this model much better because you're going to be able to go in and pick stocks that you really like to track. For someone who might have a portfolio, if you're getting nervous, let's say you've got a lot of Apple shares, you want to come in and sign up for signals on Apple, sign up for that one stock if you want. The system will tell you when to get in and when to get out. So this is what the front page, the home page of the website will look like. Very, very basic, very easy. And the one nice feature that you'll notice is I'm going to collapse this, and I'm going to bring it all the way in. And now you can see that it is fully adaptable to any mobile device. So you can get into any one of these pages here. And if you're viewing the website on a mobile device, you can click these bars right here, and that'll show you the different menu items that you can select from in addition to these. So your login, your live help, and your demo. So very user-friendly because it displays in every format. And I boiled it down to 3 basic steps. So step number 1 would be to come in and test your symbols. So all the stocks that you like to trade, put the symbol in and see how the system has performed. Each page also has a video that takes you through step by step what you should be doing on that page. Now, I will mention that the website is currently on a test server, so it's going to take a while for the pages to load. So this would be the test page, and again, there's the video. The point here is I want people to come in and just start entering symbols, whatever stock it is that you like. And by the way, this is all test data as well. So please, obviously, Apple is not at 108, or we'd have some people panicking right now. So this is all test data. You will see the entry and exit signals on the chart. These bars won't be quite as wide as they are right now, but we had to load up that data, and even the performance statistics are not reflective, and the signals are not. They will be as soon as we go live, and my projected launch date is within a week. We're very, very close right now. We're just ironing out a few logistical issues, just details. But once you are in, you'll be able to scroll on the chart, move it back and forth, go all the way back and see every single trade signal. And then you'll be able to get a feel for how the system has performed. So that's the test page where everyone can come in, enter symbols, and determine how their stocks have done using the system. The next page is going to be the find page. And this will be a nice resource regardless if you're a prospective customer or if you're an existing customer, because when you're looking for stocks to trade, you're going to want to have plenty of ideas of what's moving, what's been hot, what's performed well. So for instance, the favorite list that I have right here, you'll be able to come in and I'll update my list. I go through constantly and I'm looking for stocks that have been performing well. So and I'm also looking for really good option liquidity. I realize that most of you trade options, so I try and focus on that as well. I do as well. And so once you click on a symbol here, you'll be able to load up the chart and just go down the list and see the performance. Again, please ignore these arrows here. You will see buy and sell signals on the chart, but these are not representative of what the symbol has done. It was just a data sampling that we used to populate the test server to make sure that it was working. But the point is that you'll be able to see how the OneOption system is performed, how buy and hold is performed, and then very easily just click through the different symbols to see if anything strikes a chord. I've got a second list of favorites. I have a list of stocks that are under $5 because I realize a lot of people like trading cheap stocks. They do because they make huge percentage moves. So you don't necessarily have to trade the options on them. You can be trading the underlying stock. And you can see some of the returns here. They're huge. And these are tiny little stocks. Some of them have previously been high flyers, like Goodrich Petroleum. Well, obviously with the oil industry, they've fallen hard, but should oil come back, this might be a nice stock to trade. I believe, Cleveland Cliffs, CLF. There are a number of other stocks that have been $20 stocks that are now even under $10, which there are stocks under $10, stocks under $15, 20 and 25. And so you'll be able to focus right in on the best performers. And then there'll also be a high IV list. And when I got these results back, I noticed that the option liquidity was not real good for a lot of these names. So I'm going to ratchet that up a little bit. I have a way, as you know, to sort for higher option liquidity. Huge gains in here, okay, but we need to get options that are a little bit more liquid. The moderate IV list is actually pretty good. There are a lot of stocks in here that you'd be able to trade. And then finally, low IV, in particular for option buyers. But again, here I'd like to get a little bit better liquidity as well. And I'm thinking of adding a couple of other lists, but for right now, that's what we're going to start with. And when you do click on a symbol, it will also bring up the name of the company. So if you're not familiar with that symbol, you'll be able to see how many trades it's done, the number of winners, number of losers, the gain, the percentage gain, and how you would have done with a buy and hold strategy. So once you have all your symbols, you come into the buy page. And again, there's an instructional video here on how all of this process is handled, but it's so easy. You come in and just start typing in your symbols. So let's say I want to trade Zillow, and let's say I want to trade, maybe ACAM. And then I'll see my total here. I click subscribe. And then I'll need to register or log in, and then I'll be able to proceed to the checkout page. But again, because we're on a test server right now, I'm not able to get to that checkout page, but it does also have a video. And for anyone that's new to OneOption, it'll describe the transaction processing, how to access your account information, which we'll take a look at, uh, all the types of how to find your information. So let me point one thing out though, and that is that for 15 symbols or more, I'm going to be including SPY, QQQ, DIA, IWM, and GLD. And actually, I missed a symbol in here. It's also TLT. So those 6 symbols that are common to US Index and ETF Trader, they have been phenomenal. We've had huge gains. So if you subscribe to 15 symbols or more, you'll get these for free. You don't have to buy all 15 symbols at once. You just need to be above that threshold to get the symbols, and then they'll automatically start showing up in your My Stocks page. So, and the reason that I've decided to go this route is these are very valuable symbols, quite honestly. The options are super liquid, and instead of changing my pricing for them and charging more for them and a different price for everything else, I thought it would be easier to just say, you know, if you're above 15 symbols, I'll just give you those for free. And these symbols right here, you know, in total, as far as what a subscription would cost you for all of them right now, it's $600 a quarter. Now, at $20 per symbol, if you subscribe to 15 symbols, it's going to cost you $300. So you'll get the 6 symbols, plus you'll get 15 other symbols that you can use in terms of stocks or ETFs, whatever you'd like to track. So this will be a big windfall for everyone. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about how I'm going to be handling current symbol subscriptions. And the way that it's going to work is we will calculate what your subscription rate is, and we're going to divide that by 20. So let's say that you're paying $200 for one of your subscriptions, one of your symbol groups. Maybe it's US Index if you got on board early. So $200 divided by $20 would mean that you'll get 10 symbols. So you'll have 10 symbols of your choice, but when we start off, we are going to start you off with our favorite stock symbols. So I'm going to go back to the Find page. And so the default will be, these will be your first 20 symbols, depending on how many subscriptions you have. And then whatever's left over, you'll have favorite number 2. And this is simply to give you symbols to start with. Now, when you log in and we've made the transition, you'll see a login button. I'm already logged in, so I'm going to go to Account. And in the Account area, what you'll see is, let's say that your subscription's converted over and you've got 10 symbols. You'll see the 10 symbols that I just mentioned from the favorite list, but you can go in and change the symbol. Change it to whatever you'd like. You can keep it, and the change is very easy to make. All the changes will take place overnight. So I click change, it highlights the field, and then I'm able to go in and change it to any symbol. In this area, you'll also be able to, as normal, change your login information, your credit card information. You'll be able to set your text and email alerts. And for those of you who have all of the symbols currently, you know that it's kind of a pain to get emails where you've got maybe 20 or 30 or 40 different symbols where we're entering a new long position and we're entering short positions with probably the same number of symbols. It's basically an email with a symbol dump in it. Well, what you'll be able to do on the new website is to designate symbol lists so that you can go in and determine which symbols you'd like to get your alerts for. So put in your email, your cell phone number, and then put in the symbols that you would like to get your alerts for. I'm going to go into I'll back up here. So, and that's also where you can cancel your symbols. So if you do cancel a symbol, you can always reactivate it if you change your mind, and you'll be able to access that symbol until it expires. So very easy that way. I want to show you kind of a neat feature on the My Stocks page, and that is that if you want, you can view all of the symbols in the table. And so when you log in each morning, you'll see the new entries and the new exits listed at the top, and then you'll see your open positions. If you wanted to, you could manage your symbol lists and you could add a new list. So you'd come in here, name it, and then you'd put the symbols that you want to track and you'd click save. I don't care, you could have 2 or 3 different lists, but this way, and if you wanted to, you could even separate out GLD, TLT, SPY. You could have those all in a separate table if you'd like and keep them separate from your stocks, or organize it any way that you'd like. And so if you do have a lot of different symbols that you're tracking, this will be a nice feature for you. In particular, anyone that has the full subscription, all of the symbols, it's going to be very handy because you can come in and have maybe 3 or 4 different lists with different groups or sectors. And when you're on the road, you'll be able to do a quick reference. Maybe one of them is your actual positions that you have. Another one is stocks that you're tracking. And so you get to that on the My Stocks page at the very top. There's also a live help area, which is the standard live help page. And here you'll find a lot of answers to the questions on the new single symbol subscription model. And this page I've spent a lot of time on. I call it demo because it really does give you a feel for the trading signals, and there are lots of videos. So these are all the videos that tell you how to get started. They're the ones that you'll see at the top of all the web pages: test, find, buy, checkout. Then the next category is how to make money. So how can you invest using the trade signals? How do you use the signals to trade reversals? How do you use them to trade breakouts? How can profit management help you improve on our performance? And I know there's some very, very basic profit management tools that you can use to take profits, and you'll double or triple our performance because we don't have an exit rule base. We have a stop rule base if the trade's moving against us, but we don't have a target profit rule base built in. And that's because I didn't want to complicate it. And everybody has a different risk profile. Some people are willing to let a trade run a long way. Other people like to take profits very early. Some people like to scale out, which is what I like to do. It's really up to the user, but if you're simply using momentum as a gauge, as soon as that momentum starts to wane, you should start taking profits. That's what I do. It works really well. How to pick the best stocks. So the different types of patterns that I'm looking for. Nice rolling trends that last 2-3 weeks. Very tight price patterns. If you watch this, you'll know how to select good stocks for the system. The best stocks for stock trading, best stocks for option buying, best stocks for credit spreads, and then we get into the platform. And so I've broken this down into lots of small sections that are easy to watch. And you'll notice on the website, I didn't even promote the platform. The reason for that is that I really wanted to keep new prospective customers very focused on the trade signals. Well, once you get used to the trade signals and you see how accurate they are, then I'll have an opportunity to tell you about the platform. But in my old on my old website, there was just a lot of confusion. What's the platform? Do I have to have the platform? And all sorts of questions about the platform and the scanner. And there's also a video on the scanner, series of videos on the scanner, and a tutorial. And then the brokerage interface. And then finally, I'll be posting all the webinars down below. So after tonight's event, there'll be a new webinar posted. So this is a great resource, and I plan on continuing to add to this demo area. So once the site is launched, little by little, I'll have new categories that I'll put up, and maybe one of them's trading strategy. I've already done the covered call course, and I hope that most of you have viewed the online course on selling bull put spreads. Make sure to do that, because when the new website goes up, you won't have access to that. Just go to www.oneoption.com, spell it all out, and you'll be able to see the pop-up and register for that course. So that's what the new website will look like, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of questions about subscriptions and all, so I'm prepared to answer those. But I'd like to ask those of you in attendance a couple of poll questions here, so I'm going to open that up. And the first question that I would like to ask is, are you currently a subscriber to OneOption? And you'll see in the little chat box there'll be an area for you to place your vote. I've got about 75% of you have clicked, and it's about 50-50. Got about half of you are customers and half of you are prospective customers. And so now I'll ask the second question. If you're not a customer, would you consider subscribing to the system signals for $20 per symbol? So this is open to the second set of customers. And I'm happy to see that all the votes are coming in yes. I've tried to make this as reasonable as possible from a pricing standpoint. I know that if I can get people on the system, you're going to love it. I mean, the signals have been so dang good. And when the market finally does roll over, you're going to be very, very happy that you're following these trade signals. So I've got 100% of you said yes. So for those of you who are not customers, next week, come to the website and you'll be able to go through the process I just outlined for you. I got to tell you, it's so easy. Everything is documented. You've got videos that are about 2 minutes long on each page. It'll take you through step by step, show you how to access your account. I've just shown you. And so I think you can see, just based on the design of the website, how easy it's going to be. One thing I didn't mention is that in this my stocks area, these are all end of day quotes. The trades themselves will be real time, and the trade alerts come out at 9:30 Central Time, 1 hour after the open. So the trade alerts, the new entries and new exits, those will be real. They'll get posted an hour after the open. But as far as the pricing, this is all taken from the prior day. And actually, you can't pay attention to any of this because it's just sample data. But if we were looking at it right now, today's data would have actually been updated. So after about 3 hours after the close of the market, the end of day data will update. Great. Well, boy, I'm excited to have some new customers on board next week. Let's go take a look at some trade signals right now. As always, I'll have a couple of trades for you. And first, we're going to take a look at the market. And for those of you who are not currently customers, this is the OneOption trading platform. There's an end of day version. There's a real-time version. We'll be using the end of day version right now. It's got lots and lots of features, and it's a really nice way to be able to view the trade signals as well. So it is not required. You can subscribe to the symbols and just use the website. Interactive Brokers customers are able to pull real-time quotes into the platform and actually trade through the platform and actually automate trade signals through the platform. So it's really nice. So here's the market. I'm going to zoom out very quickly because here's the bigger picture. If you take a look back at where we've come really from the highs in August, the SPY has rallied about 3%. That's nothing. All we've done is basically chop around, and we've been in this very tight range. Oh, my apologies. My apologies. So I had to close the poll, and now we're back seeing the screen. So the point is that from this high in August, we've really only rallied about 3%. The market has gone nowhere. We've been testing that 100-day moving average with greater frequency. If we were to zoom back, you would see that we would test that 100-day moving average maybe every 3 to 4 months. Now we've been testing it with regularity. You can see we just bounced off of it last week, and then we ran up on the FOMC news today. We're going to be challenging the high. My suspicion is that we're not going to blow through that high. The economic conditions are starting to soften. I've been mentioning that in my market comments, and it's a little bit strange that the market would hear from the Fed that economic conditions are softening and then we would get a big rally. And I know that it's because of interest rates and the Fed's not going to raise rates till probably September or so. But if you think about it, how strong is this market rally if it can't even shoulder a quarter-point rate increase? From 0 to up 0.25%? Well, what kind of strength is that? That's nothing. So the whole market is basically tied to what the Fed is or isn't going to do. We've seen stimulus globally, Europe, Japan, now China's easing. It hasn't stimulated economic growth in any of those areas. Everybody is just muddling along. And in my opinion, the reason that the market's rallying is because there aren't any good investment alternatives. So money has to go somewhere. It's not going to go into bonds with yields so low. So it's going into equities because people have to be able to make some kind of return. Plus, you've got corporate buybacks that are always keeping a bid to the market. But the resistance is starting to build. And so this 5-year bull market, it's starting to run out of steam, I believe. And so if you start taking a look at the new relative highs, there's a high, market pulls back, and then it barely makes another high. So the distance here to here is very small. Market pulls back in October. We actually had the biggest pullback that we've seen in 2 years, and we took out the 200-day moving average back there. So because we had such a big pullback, we rallied a little bit higher than the other times, but not by much. So again, we make a new high, but the distance to the new high is not very big, and then we roll right over. And now we barely poke through up here again, and we've already seen selling pressure. So resistance is building, there is profit taking, and my suspicion is that we're going to get a nice little rally off of the FOMC. We will probably challenge the high at 212 on the SPY. In fact, you can see how close we were today. I thought we might even challenge it today. I think there's a good chance that we'll break through it Thursday or Friday. And the reason that I believe that is because you've got quadruple witching. So the market's been very quiet all week, and now you've got news for everyone to trade off of. And anyone that was selling out of the money call premium right here at the all-time high when we were rolling over, and even right now as the market's been rebounding, they're going to get seriously squeezed in the next 2 days, and they're going to be buying in those call options. So I believe we'll see the market run up. We could even poke through and make a little bit of a high. But after that, I think that the market will start to flatten out. We'll start to roll over. And the next test of this 100-day moving average, we should break through it convincingly. And we might even test the 200-day moving average when we do that. This really wasn't much of a pullback. It just came down and didn't even really touch it. Just bounced off of it instantly. Previously, we've seen a nice washout. So sustained selling for a few days, actually break below it. Here we break below it, bounce a little bit and come back through it again, come back through it again. Start spending time below it. We haven't done that in this recent sell-off, and that's why I think this little bit of a rally here will run out of steam. Could be a little bit of a blow-off top, and then I think we start to roll over. By then, let's say in the next 2 or 3 weeks, now we're almost to Q1 earnings season, and we know that the harsh winter has been tough on retailers and consumption has been relatively soft. We know that it's hurt construction. We know that there are lots of layoffs in the oil industry. So economic conditions could really start to soften, and by then Greece will be that much closer to needing more money, and that's already been an issue. Conditions in China have been starting to soften, so I think those are all issues that are going to come to roost towards the end of April, and then you get your sell in May and go away. So the timetable is kind of set for that. So I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I think that this rally is going to be pretty short-lived, and once you get to, say, April, well, June's only a couple months away, and then the interest rate fears will start to escalate again. So we'll see. For the next few days, I think you need to play the long side, and I think you need to be very watchful of a breakout right here. If we get it, I think you can get long and expect at least another 30 or 40 points on the S&P 500, and quadruple witching could be the catalyst to goose the market in here. So I'm going to show you a couple of trades, and then I'm going to take questions, and we will call it a night. I'm going to put up the signals here, and I'm going to put up a chart. HLF, Herbalife. This has been a short for quite a while. We've had hedge funds, Ackman, shorting it, and Carl Icahn had been buying it. This stock has pulled back. It's formed a nice base. We had a really nice breakout here through horizontal resistance today. And we got a buy signal on the stock, and we've got big volume. It has all the ingredients I like. I like buying calls on it. The stock is at $38. We'll zoom out very quickly. It has the potential to run. I don't think I'd go, obviously, I wouldn't go Marches here. I would probably go out to April's. And I think this stock could easily get up to $45 before hitting much of any resistance. It could even make it to 50 before it hits much resistance. So I like this setup. We'll take a very quick look and we'll see where those Aprils are trading. So fairly wide bid-ask spread on the close, but you can work that bid-ask spread. You probably $2.40 would probably be a good entry point. And there you can see the option implied volatility relatively high in here at about 0.6. So that tells me that a selling strategy might be even better for this particular play. So let's take a look at a credit spread. Those of you who like spreading, we'll take a look at the 35-30 put credit spread. You've got 160 by 71. You should easily be able to get $1 for that spread. So let's zoom out, take a look at the $35 price level. That's right here. So here's how I would play that credit spread. There's your horizontal breakout. We are expecting this horizontal support to hold. So we're going to sell the 35 put, and we're going to buy the $30 put, and we're going to do that for a $1 credit. The stock closed at $39 today. We're expecting it to continue to rally. As it does so, that spread will continue to collapse. So if it's trading for $1 now, and the stock rallies, you should be able to buy it in for 20, 30 cents, even in a couple of weeks if it just maintains this current price level. If it rallies, you'll be able to reel it in much earlier. And if it breaks below $35, that is your stop. Buy the spread back. But given that we've got this nice base, we've got a great buy signal, we've got lots of stock volume coming into it. I didn't check the news. I would check the news, but given all that I can see technically, this stock is getting ready to run. So I think you could even be okay doing a call strategy, buying calls. Let's take a look at another one here. UNP, Union Pacific. System's done very well on the stock. Look at that short. Boy, was that a nice short. From 122 down to 117 to make some real nice money in a couple of weeks on that one. But now we've formed a base here. We're just at that 100-day moving average, so I'd like to see it poke above the 100-day moving average. Probably will happen tomorrow. I think buying calls in here would be a good play. And Dave's got some news on Herbalife. So it looks like there was a court case that was resolved in favor of Herbalife today, hence the big move. Now we are starting to see a couple of other stocks that have been beaten down. They're cyclical stocks. I'm not as big on those, so I'm just going to flash through them. But if you like buying stocks off of support, NUE, this is too big for me, okay? This is like a $4 move, and I like getting it when it's right in here. Early in the day, knowing there was a buy signal yesterday, for anyone day trading, the stock was coming up on all sorts of scanner signals today. You could take a position with confidence knowing you just got a buy signal, and oof, good one. Joy Global, This one's just getting started. You had your earnings, a little bit of a sell-off, and you've got your entry point here. This stock looks poised to fill in the gap. It easily should be able to get about above that $41 level, and then it has a chance to even run up into this area here. So I'm not real big on bottom fishing, especially when I don't see a big enough base, but this looks like an earnings gap here, and you could have a nice little bounce. But here's one that was pretty interesting to me. Was Mylan, made a big breakout, and this might be one to watch because we're also seeing heavy volume here. This is takeover news, so I wouldn't want to go in and chase it, but we did get a really nice entry point right there on that breakout. So stock is typically pretty choppy. I would only buy this on a pullback. So the trade I want to highlight to you though is the Herbalife HLF trade. I think that one looks like the base is in and it's going to attract some buyers. We know there are lots of short sellers on this name too, so they'll be squeezed a little bit on news like this. And then the Union Pacific trade I also like. So those are the trades for tonight, and now I will field some of your questions. So if you've got any questions on the new format for the subscription model, please let me know. Okay. Larry, I'm not sure you've got a question on ABC, and I don't really know. I mean, I'm trying to parse through the question, not sure I understand it. There's a couple of blue signals. Not sure if you're talking in here. We had a short, we stopped out. We got short, we stopped out. If that's your reference right there, we were stopping out. System wanted to get short and it stopped out, and thank God it did because now we're on a good trade there. Tried to get short again and stopped, and now we're on that long. And one thing I should mention is that, if you look at the performance, you have to realize, and we've beaten 80% of the stocks on a buy and hold basis, but we're not in all the time. And when you have stocks that have huge earnings moves, we're not in for those because the system doesn't trade them. So if you start filtering all of those out and looking at the signals and the moves when we are in, you'll notice that there's really nice movement and great entry points. So yes, it's important to see that the stock has performed well relative to buy and hold, but not always. Sometimes you just have to look at how the signal has done. And I'll also mention that in some cases like Netflix and some of the other stocks, in my videos I talk about profit management. There's just a gorgeous buy signal right here, and the stock runs up on that breakout. So you go from 460 to 490. When you start rolling over and the stock starts losing its momentum, take profits. My God, especially like right up in here, you've got that horizontal support level, stock continues to climb, and now you're breaking below it. Don't be a fool. Get out. Take your profits. So there's lots of money that's left on the table. So we get out here, we get in here, we get out here on a stop because it's below our entry price. And we're going to show probably a loss on that trade when you actually could have had a nice winner. So yes, we're up 37% versus 4% for buy and hold. But if you manage your profits, you could do a whole heck of a lot better. Down in here, get that big bounce off of that low, start taking profits in there. Here, gorgeous. That's about a $50 move in the stock. It starts flatlining. Get out. Take your profits. Okay, now it pulls back. Here, another example. System gets out. We're in here, out here. We make zero as far as the system's concerned, but you had a gorgeous entry and 50 bucks on the table. Now, this is not rocket science. This is very easy profit management. My point is, these trade signals are dynamite. They are really, really good. And in particular, I would be much more interested in buying down here and selling on a rally up here. Down in here, I'm not that interested in taking a short signal unless I break through this horizontal support. So that's just a little bit of advice. Now you get a big run up in the stock. I would be less interested in buying this breakout, although I would cautiously. I'd be more interested in seeing a sell signal up here. Boy, that's what I really like, is I like selling at the peak when the move is exhausted and I get that sell signal. And as I showed you earlier with Herbalife, I love buying off of those bases when you get a good buy signal, because those are some of the big moves that you get. Did have somebody ask me about TLT. System's been just unbelievable on this. I mean, it has been picking bonds like crazy. Look at that entry. That was about a 700% winner if you bought at the money options with 3 months left. Profit management. I had webinars all in here and I said, you know, this thing doesn't have too much further to run. You should start taking profits. By all means, when we rolled over here, should be taking profits. But look, it pulled all the way back here before the system got us short. And if you waited that long, you left a whole lot of money on the table. Just a little bit of profit management. Ended up being a very nice short for us, but here we go again. You're short here. I'd be getting out here, okay? Once you start getting that bounce, you know that this is prior resistance, okay, right here. There's your breakout. This should be a support level, a horizontal support level. Once you're through it on the downside, and now you're back above it, that's where I'm getting out. I'm going to take my profits. I've had a very nice move in it. If you stuck with it and you happen to get lucky down here, well, once you come back above that support line, you've got to be out. You've got to be out. So we've done fantastic. You can do much better, much better. Gorgeous entry on our TLT right there, by the way. So we're back long again. When you subscribe to a symbol, is the subscription per quarter? Yes, it is. So let's say you sign up for Apple. 2 weeks later, Apple is just flat as a board. You want to change it to Merck or Mylan or whatever you want to change it to, but that symbol subscription will be on a quarterly basis. So for $20, you can come in and try a symbol. Now, I don't want to charge for symbol changes. I don't think this is going to be a problem, but if I see people coming in and just completely swapping every day, I might start charging and having a nominal charge for it to discourage it, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I'm not even going to go there right now. But yeah, you could change it. You know, if you're changing it every few days, then I don't even care about that. So yes, $19.95 per quarter per symbol. And I think we're getting down to the end of the questions here. Does the 3,000 symbol subscription also include the new website format? Yes, it does. And so you can go in and use the website, put in as many symbols, create as many watch lists as you would like. I don't even have that subscription up on the website. So Terry, if you want that subscription, you can sign up for it now. But what I'll end up doing is I'll have a subscription for just the website, and then you'll have to add the platform and add the scanner. So I don't plan on packaging it. Anybody that has it will continue to have it, but on the new website, I'm just going to separate those three components out. Ted, you're asking, we have a list for high IV? Absolutely. You can, well, I mean, you can just enter your high IV symbols in. So whatever they are, just you'll have your pick of whatever symbol you want. If you like those 7 symbols, you can keep them. You'll get our symbols, and you just go in and change them, and you'll have what you want. The issue with that for all of you is that when we're doing this transfer, um, there were just a lot of variables that we had to consider, and how are we going to go about it logistically. And we just thought, you know what, it'd be easier if we just start you off with some symbols that we know have performed really well. And then if you want your old symbols, you can go in and add them and change them. It's so easy, and we want you to know how to do that. And we even have that in the videos on the website. So I think it'll be a very easy transition for you. Yes, Martha, if you have a 3,000 symbol subscription, do you get to keep what you have? Yes, there are no changes for you. You'll still have the platform, you'll have the scanner, you'll have access to the website. The only thing that will be different slash better for you is that you'll be able to go onto the website, which you weren't able to do before, and you'll be able to create your own lists. So if you're on the road and you've got 20 or 30 stocks that you're watching, go in, create your lists, and then you'll be able to track them through the website. And you'll also be able to use your cell phone, and that's what it'll look like. So you'll just have to scroll a little bit, but you'll be able to get to the charts as well. So you click on a symbol and that chart will load. Again, because we're on a test server, it's taking a little while, but rest assured it'll be very, very fast, just like it is with the current website. Rod, is the platform and scanner subscription still going to be available? It will be. And the thing is I don't promote it anywhere on my site except for in this demo area. But yes, your subscription will move over and you'll be able to continue to have it. And my plan is to ease people in. So if you go to the demo page, you can see the subscribe buttons for the platform and the scanner. My plan is to ease people into the trade signals and then to send out emails and to say, hey, listen, thank you for subscribing to the symbols, but there's something that you should know about. It's the platform, which really makes all of this a lot easier. Ted, now you're asking about high liquidity. Yeah, I've got in all the searches that we provide, those options are liquid. So I'm looking for good performance and good liquidity. And absolutely, Fred, the platform will be available. It is not changing one iota, except for the better, because I still have plans for the platform later this year. So now that the website will be launched, I give it a few weeks to hammer out any remaining issues, and then I've got some projects in mind for the platform. AJ, where's the cell signal at the tops? Not quite sure what you're talking about. The system, when it senses a top, it will put a cell signal. It's not going to catch them all. It'll catch most of them. Pam, you're on high IV, so under the new setup, you can choose whatever symbols you want. Number being determined by your subscription divided by 20. Absolutely. So yes, so again, if you're paying 100 and if you're a very old customer who got on right away and you paid $149, then you're going to have actually 8 symbols. When you go up to renew, it'll be an extra $10 versus what you were paying, but you're going to have 8 symbols of your choosing. The one thing I should point out is if you are on ETF Trader or on US Index and you've been on board for a long time, you are going to have to pay more. You're going to have to buy some symbols, but the trade-off is well worth it. Let's say that you are in for $200 on US Index. Well, you're going to have to buy another 5 symbols to get your subscription up to the point to where you can get the free symbols. But when you do that, you used to have 4 symbols. Now you're going to have 6 free ones, and you're going to have 15 other symbols that you didn't have. So I've bent over backwards to try and make this work really well for everyone. So I hope to get positive feedback. I think I will. How do you use the website for building portfolios to auto trade? You still need to do the auto trading through the platform. So look at the website in that instance as just a fallback if you're on the road and you want to track your stocks or you want to track signals for stocks that you're looking at in your portfolio. But yes, the platform is absolutely the way to go for auto trading. Nothing will be automated through the website. Interactive Brokers doesn't even let anyone write from website to website. Pam, your question, everything's divided by 20 by $20, not by 10. AJ, you're buying signals and the signals don't come at the right time. What's the point? Not sure I understand your question. Trade signals are phenomenal. If you look at our trade signals, you'll be able to go on the website, bring up the chart, look at the entry and exit signals. If you don't like the signals for a particular stock, look at another stock, look at another stock. You're going to find something that really strikes a chord with you. Is it going to pick every top? Heck no. Is it going to pick every bottom perfectly? Heck no. Is it going to find most of them? Heck yes. And it's going to get you on some really nice trends too. Do you have to purchase the platform? No, 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 no. You don't ever have to have the platform. You can just use the website, get your signals. You can get text alerts through the website, email alerts through the website. The platform is really a standalone product, but if you do have the platform and you're subscribed to 15 symbols and you've identified those symbols on the website, you'll also be able to access those trade signals for those symbols when you're on the platform. And the platform is really easy to use. I mean, it's got a lot of features. I didn't want to spend too much time on it. If you think you're interested in the platform, there are 8 videos that will be on the website, and they go through everything from charting to fundamental analysis to market commentary to top-down approach, lists, scans, everything. So just watch the videos and you'll have a good idea of what it offers. How did I come up with the 2 favorites list? They're my favorites. They're stocks that I've traded often that have good performance and trend nicely. What is the date change. When I'm planning on rolling this out next week, and so I will be sending an email out when I have that date nailed down. Right now, we've got to make sure that the last remaining projects are completed and working fine, and then we'll be able to move forward. If you have the scanner and the platform, is that separate? Yes, it is. Completely separate. Do you have to keep these two? No. You can cancel them at any time. If you would rather cancel your platform and scanner, you can do that online right now. Use them until they expire and then go in and sign up for symbols if you would prefer to do that. How do you access the video? The videos are at the top of each page and they'll be in this demo area that's in the upper right-hand corner. So once the website is launched, just click that demo. Vincent, yes, if you only choose 5 symbols and you have the platform, you will be able to see the trade signals for those 5 symbols in the platform. And let me point out how to access that. So when you go to systems, you'll have your list will be up here of your 5 symbols, so that if you'd like to, I'm just going to click on high IV. You'll have your list of symbols and the current positions, and then you'll also be able to see the entry and exit signals for those 5 symbols. Will the website report performance of the symbols as they do now, or will that be discontinued? Yes, there is a, the answer is it will be discontinued because the symbols will be dynamically changed by everyone. So there's no way for us to go back and record like a month-to-month performance record, but you'll have your account to do that with. And so there's no way for us to do that because we're allowing everybody to change symbols. With the old method, we had 7 set symbols, then we could go back and actually create a track record. But you'll be able to go into the website and always see how those symbols have performed. So whether you're on the Find page or the My Stocks page, whenever you bring up a symbol, you'll be able to see what the performance is and what the entry and exit signals were for it. So you'll be able to track the performance that way. And so on this Find page, as I mentioned earlier, even if you're a subscriber, this will be worth coming to and actually looking at some of these different searches, because it'll give you ideas of stocks to consider that you might not have thought of. So if you're looking to upgrade your list, you can come in, do a little bit of digging around, and find something in this area as well. Great. Well, I think that I've gotten to the end of the questions. It's going to be an exciting week. Thank you so much for attending. Plan to roll this out probably within, I'm thinking maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and I will be sending out an email to all subscribers that will detail what's going to be transpiring. I'll also include a link to tonight's webinar so that you can watch it. I want to make sure that everybody understands what's happening, and it will be fantastic for any of you who are currently subscribers. You're going to get access to a lot more symbols. You're also going to be able to change those symbols. It'll be much easier to use the website on your cell phones or any other display like a tablet. So those will all be benefits for anybody that has the 3,000 symbol subscription. It's going to be pretty much business as normal for you. You'll continue to focus on the platform and getting your information that way, but you'll also have some nice resources on the website as well. And for those of you who are not customers but are interested, I look forward to having you on board. Thank you. Have a good night.